I can't believe we're already in October. We have 3 months left, and then we're going to be starting 2026. It's crazy. Flew by.
All right, here we go. So, Jeff, you've been on here the longest. We'll let you take off and lead.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, everybody. I can't believe it's October either. It's unbelievable how fast times go through, and it's kind of chilly out. I love the first chill of fall, but as soon as winter gets here, I'm sure I'll be ready for it to get warm again. But I'll enjoy it for now. And you all will be happy to know I just got my license cleared for 2026, so I will be a loan officer again in 2026. We have to do continuing ed like y'all do and apply back with the state and everything to get our license renewed every year. So that email just came across. We have to take a really fun 8-hour class every year. So I had an interesting thing. I think I've told y'all before that, we use this group called experience.com that sends out surveys to our clients and to the buyer and listing agent on each of our deals. And out of that survey, it's used by over 50,000 people in the country. I was in the top 1% for my customer reviews. So I'm obviously very, very proud of that. I also, while I do like to take credit as much as possible, I'm also not too proud to say that a lot of that has to do with our marketing team and how they, how in our team here. But I was at an event, and AI is something that it's like one of those new technologies that, just when you think you've got everything under control, here comes this new technology that everybody keeps telling you is going to change everything. And you just ignore it as much as possible and keep telling yourself that people need this good customer service and they need to be in front of people. I was in an event a couple of weeks ago where there was a marketing guy talking about AI and how people are actually shopping through AI now. What is the best handbag or what is the best shoe for this kind of running? And the AI will say, well, based off of what it sees on the internet, you should look at these shoes, and then even provides a link on where to buy them. So that got me to thinking. And so I said, I immediately went onto my phone and I said, who is the best loan officer in Roswell? And sure enough, my name was at the top of the list. Said Jeff Smith, and it talked about all my customer reviews. So I went to North Fulton, and I was in the top 5 in North Fulton. And I went for the state of Georgia, and I was on a list. Then I told my wife to do it. I was like, can you believe this? I'm on the top list in the state of Georgia. And then she went and do it, and it didn't do it when she did the search. So I don't know what's up with that. But all that to really say, again, yes, that has to do with my customer service and getting good customer reviews. But of course, it also has to do with how tuned in our marketing department is to that stuff. Whatever AI is looking for, they've got it on their web pages, which is good. But I say all that to say that when you refer me to your client and they go and do an online search, they're going to see good stuff. I don't have bad stuff out there. So that should be comforting, because as you refer me, you're putting your reputation on the line. And I know that every single time. My goal is to have your client thank you at the end of the deal for putting me on the deal and for bringing them into their lives and being a part of that journey. So I'm kind of proud of that and just kind of wanted to point that out. But again, we're always trying at Assurance Financial to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help you get deals under contract. We're calling listing agents. We're hitting timelines. When you need things to go fast, we can go very fast. We have 4 appraisers on rotation, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that everybody's happy at your closing table. So would love your referrals as we head into the fall. There's deals out there. And before I leave, I want to put out an invitation to everybody on this call. As some of you know, I do these happy hour events around Atlanta. We did one in Forsyth County, where we had a state rep and the economic development director of Forsyth County, who's now the chamber president, come out and talk about all the cool stuff going on in Forsyth County development wise. We do these events because we think it adds value to our realtors. So we invite only realtors to the event. And if you go there and all of a sudden you can become an expert on what's happening, it gives you value and something to talk about when you're driving clients around that area. Well, I was just talking with the economic development director last week, and he was telling me that we've got this big new development that they're trying to hit that's going to be right over here. So if you buy a house, this is going to improve the values and so on and so forth. So it's a value add. So our next one is going to be on October the 29th. It's going to be in downtown Woodstock, which I know is a little bit out of y'all's sphere, although I do know that some of you do get into Woodstock from time to time, and those that are near it, this could be a great value add. We've got the mayor of Woodstock and the economic development director of Woodstock. It's going to be coming to speak. It's going to be at Deep Roots, which is a really, really cool wine bar kind of place. It's a really cool location in their downtown district in downtown Woodstock. It'll be from 4 to 5:30 on October the 29th. Drinks and appetizers are on me. So if you want to come down to the event, I encourage you to register ASAP, or at least just shoot me an email and let me know, and we'll make sure you're on the list. But it's a fun event. It's worthwhile to go there and learn about what's going on in these communities so that you can provide better value to your clients. And hopefully that's a value add that we bring to the table. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you all again for the partnership and the relationship. I'm blessed and honored, and I try to earn it on every deal. So let's just have a great fall.
Your phone number in the chat, so if any of our agents on here are interested in going to that event, they can message you, and that way they can be registered for it.
Thank you, Amy. I'm on it.
You're welcome.
All right, Doug Dean with Schaeferts and Dean.
Good morning, Doug.
There we go. It just took me a minute to find the audio button. Well, thank you. Welcome and good morning. One of the things that Jeff mentioned was AI, and we have one of our Business Builder speaker series was our marketing consultant that helps us with our digital marketing. And he did a 1-hour session, which helped demonstrate how real estate agents can use AI like ChatGPT to write listings, develop content, things like that. And I'm going to share the link to that Business Builder in the chat window. So if you cut and paste that, you'll find there's some really good information. It was impressive. In a 1-hour session, he generated 36 content articles for the year, and ChatGPT wrote them all, and he was able to fine tune them, make this one read this way and this one read this way. So he was able to generate a lot of content. He put in basic information and had it write beautiful listings. So there's a lot of good information there on AI. One of the other things that I wanted to mention, because it's this time of year, are property taxes. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows how we handle property taxes. And the answer is we handle them the way it is spelled out in the GAR contract, which basically says any bills that are issued through the date of closing are the responsibility of the seller. So for instance, if the 2025 bill is out now, the seller will pay the 2025 bill, and the buyer will reimburse the seller on the closing statement their pro rata share. If the 2025 bill is not out, we use the 2024 tax bill, and the seller gives the buyer a credit, pro rata credit towards this year's taxes. So you will see these credits either from seller to buyer if the bill's not out, or from the buyer to the seller if the current year bill is out. And that works really well. The only time a problem arises is what if this year's bill is materially different than last year's bill? The GAR contract stipulates, and this provision survives closing. It says if the taxes are based on an estimate when the actual bill comes out, the parties, buyer and seller, will work together to adjust the proration so that each pays their applicable part. And I had a closing, it was a Lumpkin County property from last year. We closed in May last year. And the proration in May from the seller to the buyer was $181. The year before, taxes were $482. So that's what the proration was based on. When the 2024 bill came out, it was $2,200. So really almost 5 times as much. So the proration should be almost 5 times as much. And I walked the borrower through this process. And whenever these situations come up, I always tell people, I said, the best thing is talk to your agent, let them talk to the other party's agent, and we can help with the number tabulation, computing what the actual proration should be, and what's the difference that the seller owes to the buyer if you need help with that. In my experience, it's 50-50. Sometimes sellers understand and they're good and decent people and say, you're absolutely right. I see what the proration should have been. I'll send you a check. Other times the sellers go hide under a rock. And I point out that as a legal standpoint, you have the right to force the seller to repay you. But one problem with our legal system, it doesn't work well when the amounts are small enough. It just doesn't, I guess you could file suit in what we call magistrate court or small claims court and say, you owe me $500. But in a lot of cases, is it worth the time, effort, and trouble? Probably not. The other thing that I want you to be aware of, which happens this time of year during tax time, at every closing, we get a payoff statement from the lender that we're paying off, and that payoff statement is good for some number of days past the closing date. Well, every once in a while, I'm collecting for the property taxes because they're due, and I send the payoff in, and the lender says, you know what? That payoff is now short because we went ahead and paid the taxes and it caused an escrow shortage. So you have to pay more to pay off the loan. And when that happens, I explain to the party, this is all going to work out in the wash. It's just right now a short-term money swap. As a firm, what we do is we fund the shortage. We want to make sure the payoff lender is paid off in full. So we advance the funds out of our account to pay the loan, but we let the seller know what's transpired. The tax bill has been sent in twice, once by us, once by your lender. If the lender's payment is received first, the county will refund the tax bill to us and we'll reimburse what we advanced and refund the difference back to the seller. But sometimes our check gets there first before the lender, and then the lender's check gets returned and it goes back to the borrower. And I have to explain to them, you're going to be receiving a check for a tax overage, but you'll need to reimburse me out of that the funds that we advanced to pay off your loan. It sounds cumbersome, but at the end of the day, it's really not. We just fund the payoff, and the difference comes out of one of the duplicate tax check, either ours or the lender's. And we just make sure people are aware of what's transpiring. I had one yesterday, but it was an easy one because it was a refinance. So there was only a borrower, and I showed him what's transpiring. There were 2 tax checks, ours and your lender's. Your lender says our payoff is short. We're going to fund it. And either the Artex check will get returned or the lender's will. And when it comes back to you, you need to send this amount of money that we fronted to complete your payoff. Other thing is we have our Business Builder Speaker Series is the 3rd Wednesday every month at 10 o'clock. If you, Amy, if you don't mind, if you'll let me share my screen for just a minute, I'll put up the little promotional piece because it's kind of funny. Our speaker is Denny Faircloth, and he was sitting for headshots, and he wasn't happy with anyone. So he put on a goofy face and said, I'm going to use that for my headshot. So I got to share it with you because it's funny. There's Denny's headshot. Denny is a realtor who works with both traditional and investors, but he had a really nice blog post on From Sale to Sold, how to use an investor-based analysis or mindset to price your residential property sales. So I thought he had some really good information. We're going to share it with you tomorrow at 10 o'clock on Zoom. And I'll put the link to the Business Builder in the chat window. Or better yet, I think Tracy's on. I'll ask Tracy to do that for me. But I hope you can join us tomorrow at 10. Also, tomorrow from 11:30 to 1:30, in connection with Maximum One Premier, Maximum One Executives, Modern Home Mortgage, and Schaeferts and Dean, we're having a meet and greet for some of our new people. Gabby Alion joined us in July. She's a real estate attorney, bilingual in English and Spanish. And as Metro Atlanta grows, so has growth occurred in the number of people that speak Spanish primarily. And we wanted to have an attorney on staff that could do closings in Spanish. Modern Home Mortgage has a few new folks as well. So we thought we'd have, it's going to be a good time. We've got some great food, music, entertainment, door prizes, and that's going to be in the Duluth Maximum One Executives Duluth office tomorrow from 11:30 to 1:30. So we hope you can join us for that. And I appreciate you having me on today. Does anyone have any questions, anything that I haven't covered that you got a burning desire to know? Otherwise, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, thank you for that information, Doug. That was educational for me as well. And I do want to say we do have agents that close deals in Lumpkin, and you do need, regardless of what side of the deal you're on, be aware that Lumpkin County has a deep, deep discount on their taxes for seniors, for the elderly. So I know a lot of people that move to Lumpkin County just for that purpose. So if I go up there and buy one, luckily I wouldn't get the discount right now because I'm not old enough. But you need to be aware of that, and different counties are different. So that was really good information. So thank you, Doug.
The one thing I'll add to that real quick is I want agents, one, to know and understand how the process works. And the second part is remind your buyers, if they're buying and the seller gave them the prorated credit, they're going to be responsible for the full tax bill later this year. And they don't always get it. The tax assessor mails it to the owner of record as of January 1st. So they kind of need to calendar it, be looking for it, maybe go online if they have to. But if they don't have an escrow account, the lender will take care of it if they have an escrow account. But if there's not one, just help us remind your buyer, you're going to need to pay the whole year tax bill later this year when it comes out, and you may not receive it. So calendar it and go look for it so you can pay it.
All right. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
Emily with Modern Home Mortgage.
Good morning, Emily. If you can unmute yourself, and I can put your camera on unless you want to do your camera as well.
You can turn my camera on.
Okay, perfect.
I think you have, it says you cannot
Yep.
start.
Let me
Ask to start.
go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. Do it. There you go.
All right, now you should be able to.
Yay.
There you go.
Good morning.
It's always fun on a Tuesday morning. I'm Emily Gadrix. For those of you that have not, I am Vice President. Let's talk a little bit today about our newsletter, or the information that's in our newsletter this month about our some down payment programs that we're rolling out this month. I don't think that I'm able to share my screen, so I'll just do a little bit of an overview and hit the really exciting points. We rolled out quite a few programs, but to hit the highlights, the most important things for you guys to know. One, it's all in the newsletter broken down, so you'll have that and you can save it as a reference. But it's we're going down to a 580 credit score on these programs, as low as 580. We have forgivable and then repayable programs, and we have programs that allow for first-time home buyers, of course, but we also have programs that are not restricted to first-time home buyers, which is a really big deal, because what happens a lot of times is folks come to us and want down payment assistance, and either they are not a first-time home buyer, or they don't meet the income requirements. There's maximum income, and that's based on the area median income, and that's set every year. So typically, a lot of times people fall out of qualifying for the down payment assistance programs because they've owned a property within the last 3 years. That is the litmus test as to whether or not you're considered a first-time home buyer. So if you owned property 10 years ago, but you haven't owned any property since, you can qualify as a first-time home buyer. The rule is you can't have been on title for 36 months. The good news, though, is if you have been on title for 36 months, we now have a down payment assistance program, 2 to 3.5% grant. It is a true grant, so you do not have to repay it. We also have programs that are repayable, 30-year, 15-year. So there's a lot of flexibility. You don't have to memorize any of this. That's what we're here for. You can call us and we can qualify the borrower but if you run into a situation where somebody has not saved for down payment, that it is not too soon to talk to them. That, in fact, I'd rather talk to them if they haven't saved for down payment, so that we can tee them up for success, offer them the down payment assistance programs now, if they are ready to buy now, or we can counsel them and we can get them on a budget. So either way, don't let not having the funds for closing be a deterrent to not continuing that conversation. And that's an excellent opportunity to bring one of us in to have the conversation with them and explain to them what their options are. As far as the down payment goes, again, we have repayable and non-repayable grant programs. So the really runs the gamut as far as the qualifications are concerned. And there's one more that is really important. One of the programs will allow us to go up to 160% AMI. That was that average median income phrase that I said earlier. That's set each year, and it sets the limits for these down payment assistance programs. So 9 out of 10 times, if people make over $80,000 a year, they're not going to qualify for down payment assistance programs in Georgia. However, with this program, we can go up to $180,000 in Fulton County, and you could still qualify for down payment assistance, which is really just truly unheard of. So basically, not having down payment, that excuse is off the table with these programs, because if they're not a first-time home buyer, we can put them in the other option, the other program, which doesn't have basically an income limitation. So between all of these programs, we've got an answer for down payment. So keep this in the back of your mind. You'll have all this information in your newsletter as well. So you can keep that and save that in your folder for reference in the future. We are always excited to be of assistance. And so if we can talk to anybody today, please don't hesitate to pull us in, because it's never too soon. The other thing is I'm gonna post this flyer on the chat when we're done. We have an event coming up with Maximum One executives in Norcross. It's Fuego Real Estate Conference. It's 12 hours CE. We're going to have multiple guest speakers. It's over a 2-day event, October 22nd to October 23rd at the Norcross Cultural Arts and Community Center. Doug Dean will be there with his group. We will have bilingual sessions in English and Spanish, training that breaks down cultural barriers and avoids fair housing violations, expert-led workshops and lead generation, social media marketing, negotiations, contracts, and business systems. So it is we'll also have breakout sessions. It is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of exciting stuff. We're going to talk about meta ads, AI. There's so much being covered. So I highly encourage you to reserve your spot today, and I will put a flyer on the chat for everybody, as well as a link to reserve a spot. I think if you reserve a spot today, you get 50% off. So it's going to be a really good time. I hope that all of y'all will come out and participate, come see us, and hopefully we'll have a good turnout.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
All right, Jennifer with Georgia Pine Home Inspections.
Good morning.
Hey,
Morning,
good
Jennifer.
morning.
So I am going to spare everybody my camera today. I have a double pink eye
Ooh.
from my lovely children, my little Petri dishes. And so I debated, I didn't know if I was going to do like one of those cat head filters, or I was like, no, maybe I'll just stick with the logo. So I am going to just kind of briefly go over a few things with you guys and just kind of leave that logo there. But anyway, so my name's Jennifer. I'm with Georgia Pine Home Inspections. I do all of the marketing and client coordinating for Steve Hanley, the owner, for those who don't know us. We're a locally owned inspection company based out of Cumming, and we work all over North Georgia. Just to let you know a little bit about us, our goal is simple. It's to make the inspection process smooth for both you and your clients. We focus on clear communication, same-day detailed reports, detailed walkthroughs, and quick scheduling, even when your timelines are tight. We offer full home inspections, sewer scopes, radon, termite, pool spas, and mold sampling, so your clients can handle everything in one visit. Our inspectors are thorough but practical. We point out what matters without alarming buyers unnecessarily. One thing agents really appreciate about us is how responsive we are. You'll always get updates and reports the same day. If you or your client ever need any clarification on anything, we're always just a call or a text away, and we're always happy to respond quickly. So if you haven't worked with us before, I'd be happy to get you some pricing and some contact information, because we would love to make your next closing go a little smoother. We do offer scheduling in several different ways. You're happy or welcome to text us or call us. We also have online scheduling if you would prefer to do it that way. I would encourage you to reach out to me, however, if you don't see the slot that you're looking for, because I can always kind of maneuver things and try to get, that inspection done for you within your timeline. So we're always, bending and moving to try to make this process easier for you and your client and everybody involved. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, or if there's anything specific you look for in an inspection company, please feel free to reach out to us. I will put our direct phone number in the chat. You're going to get me Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. And at that same number, you'll get Steve, the owner, in the evenings and on the weekends. But we both see the texts and calls every day of the week. So if if it's 9 through 5 and you need to ask Steve a question, still feel free to direct that question to him in the text, and I'll make sure that he sees it if he's doing an inspection. Otherwise, if you have any questions about areas we cover or pricing, please feel free to let me know.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. If you guys have any questions, like she said, the number's going to be in the chat. So that's all the alliance partners we had on for today. So we're going to move on now and make some announcements. Aiden, you want to talk?
Yeah, we've put this out there already, but everyone now should have access to all the marketing through Agent Wise Marketing. They sent an email with passwords at the beginning of last month. So all your marketing is like 5,000 templates are ready for you, all geared towards real estate. So make sure you are utilizing that. Also, Doug had gone over our social tomorrow. I have put it on our private Facebook page and emailed it out as well, but that is tomorrow at the Duluth Maximum One, starting at 11:30 to 1:30. And like Doug said, there's going to be food, there's going to be door prizes, and we're going to be meeting all the new members of Schaefertz and Dean, and also Modern Home Mortgage. So we hope you guys can join us for that as well. Neil's going to go over the current GAR forms real quick, an announcement on that.
Yeah, I just want to point out, and I'm going to be saying this more as we approach the new year, but in January 1st, when someone submits an offer, or if you take a listing, it absolutely has to be on the new forms. So if you have a listing, someone sends you an offer January 1st. I don't care if they sent it on December 31st, but you get up that next morning and it's in your inbox. It needs to be on the new forms. So, but I will go over that more and more. So what you don't want to do as a listing agent, do not allow your client to sign outdated forms. If you look at the licensing agreement with GAR, it explicitly says that you cannot use those forms anymore. Not word for word, it says it in other words, but just be aware of that, because it really, really matters. And it is an easy thing to overlook. So just keep that in mind. Also, our next broker CE class, we've handled 4 of those so far. We do 2 a day when we have those. The next one is Friday, November 14th, and it'll be the final 2 classes. So those of you that's been attending it will have all 18 hours taken care of for the upcoming year. Okay, this got added this morning, right before. A lot of you been looking at your phones and you've been seeing this. And if you reply, guess what? You're getting an answer. And if you reply again, you get an answer. When you get a text, I'm never, ever going to ask you to purchase anything. Okay. Other than paying your monthly bill and your E&O, we're not asking you to pay for gift cards or anything like that. It'll never happen. So, and especially if it's not from my phone number or if it's not from my email, that's a pretty good sign it's not for me as well. So just know that contacting me, because you're saying even my phone kept blowing up. Well, you know, I'm not a big phone person to begin with. And then when you constantly distract me, not you, but when you're constantly distracted for something you can't do anything about, well, it's a little frustrating. You're like, well, what do you want me to do? So I can't do anything. I don't initiate those texts. I don't initiate them, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that I'm never going to ask you for anything. So please don't even give them the benefit of replying to them. Go down, click report junk. And when you delete and report it as junk, hopefully at least that same phone number won't text you again. All right. So, and I feel like saying, I'm sorry that was happening to you, but once again, I can't take responsibility because I didn't do it. Okay. Now moving on to something more positive. How to scale your business in 4 moves. Now, I'm not going to go into full lessons because each one of these 4 moves that you can make in your business is an entire, it can be an entire class, right? But just breaking things down simply, if you just look at your business and your lead or referral generation, now that's the number one thing to me that any real estate agent needs to do. Now, this applies to any business. This applies to our lenders. It applies to our attorney. It applies to our home warranty company, the home inspection company, everything. To get more business, you need more leads or referrals, hopefully referrals coming in, because it's way less work than a lead, correct? But if you increase the number of those coming in, what's going to naturally happen? You're going to increase your business. Well, what if you have a lot of leads coming in? And I hear agents say, especially agents that buy leads, and then they're like, well, I've been buying leads, but these, you know, they're just not good leads. Well, you got to understand what a lead is. A lead is another 4-letter word for work. Work and lead are both 4 letters, and they both equal each other. It is a lot of work to work leads. So you may have to work on your conversion. Is working on your conversion going from calling them one time to call them two? Well, it is, but it's not going to probably get you far. You would have to really follow up. That's going to help your conversion with a lead or with a referral. Well, let's say you're good at getting leads. You're good at getting them to be your client and to work with them. But maybe you're having a hard time getting them in a home or getting their home sold. Well, that may be the area where it says client ascension. Maybe getting that client to ascend to where they want to be is what you need to work on. Or let's say you captured the lead, you converted it, you got them closed. And if you've done that a lot and you have a bunch of past clients, if you're not getting repeat business from those past clients, then you definitely need to work on that client retention. Either they're using you over and over, or they're sending you referrals. They're sending you business. And if they're not, it's because you're like I used to be. Well, still am. I didn't follow up with my past clients. And it was the shocking thing to me. The few times I did follow up with past clients, within days, they usually sent me a lead. It was mind blowing. So I started figuring out there's something to this. So these are 4 moves, and each one, there's way more depth than I'm going into today, but that's the highlights of it. And you just need to examine yourself because we're all different. You know, for me personally, I'd need to improve on all 4 of those. But some of you, maybe it's just one area. And if you only focus on one area, it should help the others. So keep those in mind as you are hopefully working on your business plan for 2026. Okay, paperless pipeline on your phone. And I know you're probably thinking, we've had paperless pipeline since you started the company. Why are we just now talking about this? Well, I've been mentoring some people, and well, one, I'm not mentoring, but I did a new agent orientation. And I told, he was a younger guy, and I said, hey, you need to get the paperless app on your phone so that you can access paperless pipeline quickly from anywhere. Well, I went to trying to help him look for in the app store how to get it on your phone. Well, it turns out I had forgotten because it had been so long ago that I did it. You don't find it in the app store. And I'm going to put this in paperless pipeline. It's just a short slideshow, but it's also going to be on here. So if you have an Android device, here are the instructions on the process to get that logo to pop up on your phone and be able to access paperless pipeline from your phone as an app. Now you can always go in and do the desktop version on your phone, but it's not as easy to operate. All right. And everybody will get the recording of this, so you'll be able to see these instructions again. Here's the instructions for the iPhone. As we all know, the technologies are different and the processes is different. You can't go to Chrome and search for paperless pipeline to set this up. You actually have to go to Safari. So
On your iPhone.
On your iPhone.
If you're an iPhone user.
Yes. So here are the instructions for it. Again, you'll get this. Plus, I'm going to be adding a link on our how-tos in paperless pipeline that will also help you make sure you have this on your phone. All right. So Q3 numbers. So from July until the end of last month, here are our numbers. These are the number of closings that each of these people have had, and each of those closings get them an entry for the $200 gift card raffle that'll happen at the end of December. So there's plenty of time. We have 3 more months. So this is 3 months worth. There's another 3 coming. I know we have a lot of closings this month with Schaeferts and Dean, so there's going to be a lot more blue here next month. Mobile deposits. Now, I know you've already seen this on last month's slideshow we sent out, sales meeting. But just in case you didn't, if you scan that QR code, it'll take you right to the mobile app, the Chase mobile app. And then once you do this, if you're not already set up, email the office, email us, and let us know, because it takes time. I have to individually go into the bank account, and every time I put in a new person, it has to send me a new code to my phone. It's a process. So it's not like I can just go in there and copy and paste all the agents and it sends you the link. I mean, it's a long process. So if you don't have this and you want the ability to do mobile deposits with your phone, now that can be commission checks, earnest money checks, any kind of check you're turning into our office. Okay. So there's the code for that, or QR code. When you do these deposits, please, 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 it's so important, put the property address in here. And I've said before, let's say this is filled up with something else written. Write the property address up here on the top of the check. Write it out beside the numbers on the bottom of the check, but just somewhere put that property address, because when checks show up in our bank account, if we don't know what to do with them, they have to sit there and we can't move the money. Also on the back, you're not, obviously all of you don't have a stamp for Maximum One, just write in there for deposit only when you endorse the back. You don't have to put your name or anything there. All right.
All right, these are our October birthdays. So we didn't have a whole lot of agents who were born in the month of October, but happy birthday to those who were.
All but one were ladies.
Yeah.
And this is Lindsay Pilgrim. She come to us this month as a new agent with us, not a new agent, but new to our company. And I did want to point out on here, she is a merge participant. She lives up in Cleveland. She's going to be building a team up there. This is her logo. So if you see her logo and you see that her colors are different, it's because she's participating in our merge program. So don't think she's breaking rules about advertising. She's took all the necessary steps to be in that program. And while I was at it, I thought, well, maybe I should point out a lot of the other people in our company that have that participate in our merge program. And it's so funny because some of you guys that participate in it, you've seen other agents with a new logo and new colors, and it don't say Maximum One on it. And you've reached out to me and said, oh, well, for instance, somebody reached out, did Travis, did he start his own company? And I'm like, no, they're doing he's doing the same thing you're doing. Oh, okay. Well, we saw his different logo. So it truly gives the appearance that you are a boutique brokerage to yourself, and it's truly your brand. And I'm fine with people believing that. I don't care if anybody knows you're with us, or, I mean, I care about you, but as far as my name or our company's name, it's about your success. So,
and it's a way for you to have complete control over your branding. You're not restricted to use the Maximum One colors. You can use whatever colors you want. This works for some agents, and some agents it doesn't. Some agents who want to give the appearance that they're a boutique brokerage, just works for them. Those of you who are like, I want to look like I'm part of Maximum One, then that doesn't work for you. So it's really up to you. Maximum One is truly an agent-centric company. So we want to give those options to agents to either do this or not. Now, this does cost extra. There are some extra papers you have to sign for this, but this is a good option for those of you who want to do this.
All right. And there's a whole website for it too. It's mx1merge.com. All right. Agent reflect time. So this is the time. If you have anything that you would like to share, any questions, I wanted to open that up too. If you have a question about real estate, maybe a broker question, it's great to ask in a webinar, because we all learn from each other. And I've learned a lot from everybody that spoke this morning, our partners, things that I didn't know. Yeah. And need to know if I'm in this business.
Yeah. As I will like to add, as we're ending, coming to a close of 2025, those of you who have recently moved, let the office know so we can update your files, because we are going to be getting those 1099s ready come January. So we need to have that on file. goodness, what else can we tell them about just wrapping up their business for 2025? Neil mentioned earlier about getting, your 2026 business plans ready. You should be starting on that now. If you need help with that, let us know. We also have a lot of tools in the reference section of Paperless Pipeline that will give you tips and ideas about your business plan for the new year. So check it out there. Anyone have any suggestions or ideas, anything they want to share with us? Okay, well, we'll move on to, I think our top producers are next. Yes, they are. All right, so this is taking, I don't think you linked it to the right one.
Oh,
Yeah, just go into Canva. Is this it? I think this is it. October.
yeah,
Here we go.
there it is.
All right. So this is for the previous month. Let's see if we can get this to work.
Nope,
Still not the right
it's still not the right
Here,
one.
I will take control of the stuff here. Let's go ahead and go into our, sorry about that, guys. We're going to get it pulled up really quick.
This is another reason it's so important to stay in your lane. I didn't get the numbers into the person that puts this together. And guess what? Since I didn't get it done yesterday, when I'm getting all those texts, I was actually putting this together then. And since I don't do this every month, I made a mistake. It's not.
It's right here.
Okay. So keep those lender questions going to the lender and attorney questions to the attorney. All right.
Finally, we're here.
All right. So great month for all of those. Where did I get to? Can you get us back?
Our internet is being a little slow over here from our home office. So just give us a moment. We are actually done. We just want to put up that last final page of the QR codes if anyone wants to follow us on social media, which I encourage you to do just because we put some announcements on there as well that are important. But we do have time for questions. We're right at almost an hour, so we definitely have time for questions for anyone who wants to stay on here. We can stop the recording. That way your questions won't be recorded if you don't want them recorded. All right, let's stop the share and let's stop the recording.